space communications. And you know, communication is supposed to be one of our strongest disciplines in Nordic. So, Desiree, come and tell us what we talked about in the group.
Can you hear me? Yes. All right. Well, good day, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Désiré, and I work as a consultant freelance for the European Agency for the Space Program. I was lucky enough to be part of a group of brilliant people. I'm not talking only about Magnus, of course, but it was definitely a key piece of the puzzle. There was someone from the Kista Science Park, Zacharias. We had also someone from ISABIX and further, and we discussed about a topic very key, which is satellite communication. None of us was actually an expert on the matter, and I think it's a good thing. Because as experts, we tend sometimes to see things from only one perspective. And trust me, I say that I'm an engineer, so in terms of bias, we're pretty good at that. What we came up with is the statement that currently we're not really a team. We work on amazing things, we do build amazing products, but we're not, that's even better, thank you. But it's a scattered market. And it's like a pizza. You can have amazing ingredients separately, pure, organic, put together, they make nice product, but they're not really working well together. You change one ingredient and the whole recipe is messed up. You have one that are, in some countries that are focusing on the funding, or at least that's their strength. Some others that have the size and scale of the industry. Some others that have the salesman craftship, the know-how. Some others that have the amazing environmental landscape that just makes it the best place when you want to leverage geothermal energy or data and so on. How do you put these different pieces together? That's what we try to come up with. Oh, one thing also that I added as an additional line is that even still today, way too often, we believe that this is a zero-sum game. When actually, as someone said, it's a positive sum one game. So we'll discuss this further, but we tried, or at least I tried, gathering, collecting all the inputs from our different conversations to set up a plan, hypothetically, but who knows, as Nick said earlier, maybe in 10 to 20 years' time, we'll think that, well, this is where it all started. Satellite communication could be one element that Norway could leverage because it's already doing amazing things on this matter, and the location itself, the landscape, just makes it just something that makes sense. We have also, of course, in Sweden, in the north, in Lapland and so on, some great places for that. Now, sharing personal experience, I've been for a while trying to get in touch with the Arctic Business Incubator over there. For the record, I work from Sweden for a European agency. We do not have an office here, but I've been doing what I do well, which is hustling to find collaboration. And I failed miserably over the years. I even learned Swedish to be able to communicate with everyone, but it did not really help. So I kind of gave up. I work from my countryside in Västra Götaland, from my computer, with all the startups that we have in our ecosystem under the Cassini program. We have more than 400 startups actually. And I would say that maybe 1% of them are actually from Sweden. And that, I think, is a missed opportunity. We have great companies from Denmark. There is one here, for example, Sternula, who is in our ecosystem. We have others from Iceland, Ecosophy, and many others. But on the Swedish side, I cannot put a finger of why it's been so damn hard to connect to the founders and invite them to actually pitch to get free money. But beyond the money is just a very small component. The strength is the access to the market, the ecosystem. It is easier for a Swedish company to do business in the US than to actually connect to another European country. And this, to me, doesn't make sense. Luckily, and we will thank this whole geopolitical context today, we're forced to look at things that we would have never thought would be possible and to find new partners. Hopefully, ESA and EUSPA are already among your partners. If not, I highly invite you to connect with them. But beyond that, there are 24 other European countries that could become your next market to expand, your next dual use case, your next business partner or inspiration. And I believe that today the time is right because there is a sense of urgency. Urgency, that's the word that I was looking for. I think that in Sweden, at least if I share my personal experience trying to connect to different partners, we do not have enough this sense of urgency to solve problems. Because we've been a country that hasn't been in war for so many years, more than 100 years and so on. I'm not going to get into the history. But now I think there is both a timeline that is, urgency, momentum, the talent is there, the funding is there. There is IRI squared that hopefully will come out at some point. I'm also from Africa, Central African Republic, and I can say that Starlink, the leader in the market at the moment, is slowly but surely connecting to all the African countries. So by the time we're going to have IRI squared, maybe there won't be enough countries to actually operate it, but that's another discussion. However, it is a sovereign technology. And something that we learn with what's going on today is that you cannot build your own infrastructure on someone else's ground. Because if that person decides to remove the right from you to build on top of it, you're just lost. You do not own anything. If you don't own the hardware, if you do not own the components, you'll be operating something that someone else is going to switch off at some point. The tentative plan is to identify our strengths and where I do see potential. Finland, typically quantum. We have, ISI and IQM, sorry, I'm often confusing the companies. I've been repeatedly at Slush the past few years, and the time when only Nokia was the main company in Finland has long gone. They have amazing, great deep tech founders today, and they are actually providing technologies to the rest of Europe. And there is a hunger that I feel in builders there that I would love to see more among the startups that I coach. Denmark, I mentioned the salesmanship, then there is also the data aspect, great software as a service, great generative AI solutions. We have a few startups that are also building on drones coming from Denmark. 5 years ago, we had a competition called My Galileo drone competition at EUSPA. That somehow had to stop because there was no market. Today, again, geopolitical context is making it timely for them to either come back to life or to label themselves as dual use and hopefully to help us transform our capability. Blockchain for Sweden might sound a bit controversial. I'm a blockchain advocate, so I guess that's my personal touch there, but there is also rationale. Strong infrastructure, large industry scale, and the security aspect that this technology will bring to the data transfer, whether it is on the ground or from ground to space, is an important component to ensure tamper-proof data of satellite communication. And Iceland with augmented reality and virtual reality. The timeline, again, tentative, but who knows? Maybe this actually could be realizable or executable plan. Could be 6 months task force with a pilot. Second phase, deploying by Q1 2027. The details still need to be discussed with all of you in the room, obviously. The funding will be easy to get, and that's the beautiful thing. I've never been in a place where it's so easy to get funding and then to find something to do with the money. I can help you on that if you need. And the scale. 50 million is actually not that much. I've been quite conservative here. So, without further ado, let's join this Nordic SATCOM consortium. And the question is not what you can ask for us, but what do you propose at the next step to help you building this? Thank you.
Super. Thank you, Désiré.